Hey guys, it's Sarah and hopefully today's video will save you some money. I'm going to be bashing the worst products that I tried in 2020. Sometimes, no matter how mindful you try to be of your purchases, you try a product that is either useless or annoying to use or just a bad product overall, and I'm going to be sharing those with you today. Many of these things I've already decluttered and gotten out of my life. Some of them I still have with me, but the ones that I don't will just have to show a picture. But the very first one that was a huge disappointment to me was the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation. I think I purchased this in 2019, but it was towards the very end of 2019, so I kind of count this as something that I tried in 2020. What a bad foundation, honestly. I know a lot of people love that one. I don't know what I'm missing. First of all, it has a super strong fragrance that I do not find pleasant at all. Just, it looked so dry on my skin. It emphasized all of my texture, dry patches I didn't even know I had. It just looked bad. The one thing that a foundation is supposed to do is make your skin look better. So I really don't have time for the ones that make my skin look bad. That was just one of those, unfortunately. Now, I think maybe you would have better luck with it if you have oilier skin, but if you have like dry skin in any way, stay far, far away from that one. Another product from e.l.f. that I couldn't even use, it was so bad, the e.l.f. Hydrating Bubble Mask. I just think that product is a total gimmick. Like, it's not, there's nothing hydrating about it at all, and it comes out like a gel, you apply it to your face, and it starts having some kind of reaction where it starts to bubble up on your face, and I guess that's supposed to feel like it's maybe cleansing your skin, but it was so uncomfortable and itchy and tingly on my skin that I had to wash it off right away. I don't know. I guess if you can stand that feeling of a product bubbling up on your skin, you may enjoy it more than me, but even just looking at the ingredients list, it doesn't really have anything in it that's that impressive. If you love that bubble mask, I'd love to know what it does for you, because maybe that would help people decide if it is worth it for them, but I could not use that product at all. Normally, even if I don't love a product, I will try to find a way to use it, or I'll use it up even if I just feel so-so about it, but that was one of those that I just immediately got rid of because it was that bad. Okay, this is a mascara. I can't believe I almost forgot about this absolute gem of a mascara. The Dirty Hippie Cosmetics Volumizing Mascara. Does anybody remember this? I can hardly believe that it was 2020 that I tried this. I tried this in, I think, January of 2020, which seems like so much longer than a year ago. This was so bad that I blocked it from my memory, and I forgot to even include it in my mascara rankings video. I did a video where I ranked all the mascaras I tried this year. I can't believe I forgot to include this one. Just so you know, this would have been the lowest ranked mascara, and I'm sorry that I forgot to include it, but this, I wanted to love this because it is kind of like a zero waste plastic free mascara, which is pretty hard to come by. It's in this cute little glass vial and it comes with a spoolie. This is pretty much the most basic spoolie you could find. It has a nice wooden handle, I guess, so that's cool, but let me just try to describe this product. First of all, it has lavender essential oil in it, which I don't want to be putting anywhere near my eyes, let alone my eyelashes. And it does smell very strongly like lavender. There's no stopper mechanism in this vial, so when you stick your brush in there, it is going to come out completely coated. It was so hard to get my lashes coated with this at the same time, even though the brush was completely loaded up with mascara. And on top of that, it wore horribly. Like, it wouldn't even stay adhered to my lashes all day. I mean, it would flake, but it would also just fade off of my eyelashes very quickly. I thought one way to salvage this would be to reuse another brush from a different mascara that I'd used up. So I tried it with a brush that I did like, the CoverGirl Lashblast in the orange tube. Even though it was a little bit easier to use because I liked that brush better, it didn't solve the issues with the formula of this, so this was just awful. I really hate to bash a small business, a zero waste kind of company, but if you want your sustainable products to compete with what's already on the market, they have to be at least usable. I don't think it's helping anybody to not share how bad this was, you know what I mean? So, whew. Okay, a mascara that was not nearly as bad, but that was also a pretty big disappointment to me, was the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Extensions Mascara. Talked about this a lot. I won't spend too much time on it, but it basically just did nothing for my lashes. Just a very, very light, natural look. And that may be exactly what you're looking for. It does live up to the Clump Crusher name because it does not clump at all. So thumbs up for that. But it also just doesn't really do much other than just kind of coat your lashes with black. I enjoyed it for the lower lashes, but I mean, I enjoy any mascara on the lower lashes. I'm not picky about that. So not the worst product ever, but it was definitely a disappointment. Another disappointment, this also did nothing for my lashes. The CoverGirl Lash Blast Amplify Primer. It's a white lash primer, and regardless of the fact that I don't really enjoy doing the extra step of applying a lash primer, and I've kind of learned that that's probably just not for me no matter how good it is, this also just didn't make a difference. Like, I tested it many times on like one eye and not the other. There was virtually no difference. It was just a waste of money for me. A concealer that I really did not like this year was the Pacifica Liquid Cover Full Coverage Lasting Concealer. The thing about this concealer that is so funny to me is that it is the complete opposite of what it claims to be. It is light coverage and it does not last, but it claims to be full coverage and lasting. So it's rare that I find a concealer that fades on my under eyes, especially because I always set my under eye concealer with powder. But this, for some reason, it just disappears from my under eyes. It's the weirdest thing. And it's a shame because I like the finish of this one, and when it's first applied, even though it's not full coverage, I like the way it looks on my skin, but it just vanishes from my under eyes within like half an hour. I don't know, it's so strange to me. So I really was disappointed by this because I do love their foundation, but this concealer was pretty much a fail for me. I haven't decluttered it just because I feel like I can like mix it with other concealers and make it work, but on its own it's just not a good one. A couple other makeup things that were disappointing to me. One of them was the Becca Light Gleam Primer and Topper Liquid Eyeshadow. I think Kelly Gooch mentioned this in her Worst Products of 2020 as well. I think she liked it even less than I did. I actually really like the matte primer side, especially the shade. I have the shade Refract here. This is like a gray-blue shade, beautiful color, and I really like that as an eyeshadow base because it's such a unique color, and I feel like it works well for me. It blends nicely. It's a little sheer, but it's not too sheer for my liking. The side that really disappointed me was the liquid side. It's a beautiful shade, and I thought it might be kind of similar to like a Stila Shimmer and Glow or something. Really pretty duochrome color, but the formula of this is so weird to me. Like, it would take forever to dry down, and by the time it dried, it had already like creased and faded. Even when I used a very thin layer, it would still fade by the end of the day. I didn't spend my own money on this, but I would be pretty disappointed if I did spend my own money on it and only half of it was functional, you know? That being said, I like having it in my collection because I like the blue side, but the shimmer side is just kind of useless to me, as much as I wanted to love it because that shade is gorgeous. And then another makeup product, this is an eyeshadow palette. I've talked about this several times, but this is the Ofra Symphony palette, and this is not necessarily awful. Like, I enjoy these shades and I enjoy having this palette in my collection, but I was pretty disappointed, especially for the price. But even if this regardless of the price, I just don't think these are the best quality shadows, especially the deeper shades. They're just very sheer, kind of streaky. You really have to spend a lot of time building them up to get much color payoff on your eyes, especially this purple shade here. You know, it's pretty for like a nice muted kind of fall look, but I don't know. I would be pretty disappointed if I bought this expecting like a nice rich plum color and it ended up just being like a very sheer, subtle purple. Okay, I have a few SPF fails. I tried a lot of SPF products this year. One that was a big fail for me was the Supergoop Bright Eyed SPF 40 eye cream. I love the idea of that, especially for, I like to use a chemical sunscreen on my face a lot of the time, but I can't put chemical sunscreens really close to my eye area because it will burn my eyes. And so I need like a mineral sunscreen for that area. It had a nice peachy kind of brightening tint to it that I thought I was going to like, but unfortunately it just pilled horribly on my under eyes. It would look horrible underneath makeup, so that was a no-go. Tried using it on no makeup days, but even then, by the end of the day, I looked like I had like dry skin around my eyes from the flaking of that sunscreen, so that was just a total dud for me. Don't waste your money. It's like $30, $40, something around there. Just use whatever mineral sunscreen you have on hand for that. I mean, now I've just been using the Bare Republic mineral sunscreen that I have. I don't really like that one on my face because it's a little bit too matte, but around my under eyes it works fine, doesn't pill, doesn't burn. So you really don't need a dedicated eye SPF unless you can find one that really works for you. A couple other sunscreens. These are both body sunscreens. Oh my gosh, I hate these so much. The Alba Botanica Sensitive Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30 and the Bare Republic Mineral Vanilla Coco SPF 50. These are similar to each other for me. Like, just your stereotypical thick mineral sunscreen. So unpleasant to apply. The Alba Botanica one especially, but really both of these, it won't spread out on my skin. Like, I'll apply it and it like sticks to like the hairs on my arms. It just sticks to wherever you initially put it, and then it just takes forever to spread out. It's so greasy and sticky. I can see why you might like this if you're not using enough of it, but if you're using the generous amount that you're supposed to get the SPF on the label, it is just an absolute nightmare. I'm gonna try to use this up. I mean, we've used a pretty good bit of it just because it's the one that I've been trying to power through for so long, but I mean, I appreciate that there's a fragrance-free, like, sensitive skin option out there, but oh my gosh, I much prefer the Alba Botanica Hawaiian, like, green tea body SPF. It's in, like, a yellow kind of tube like this. That's a chemical sunscreen, but it's so much better to use than this one. I don't know how anybody could use this. I really don't. And the Bare Republic one, same thing. This one also smells, like, it has fragrance to it. And it just smells very like sweet and kind of sickening to me, but it's same thing. It's just very sticky, maybe a little bit more matte than the Alba Botanica one, but same issue with just the white cast, the thick, it's like rubbing thick paste on your skin. Can you tell? I'm like getting worked up just talking about these. It makes me angry when sunscreens are bad like this because that's just gonna turn more people away from wanting to wear sunscreen, and it just makes me angry. Like, who approved these kinds of things? I don't know. So I think those are all of my least favorite products of the year. Honestly, a pretty short list, especially compared to my best of 2020 list, which is coming tomorrow. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. In the grand scheme of things, it was a pretty small chunk of the products that I tried this year that I ended up not liking. So hopefully this was helpful. Not to be too much of a downer, but I always find these videos helpful because I want to know what I should stay away from and not waste my money on. But if you happen to love any of these products and you completely disagree with me, I would love to know that as well, because everybody's different. What I hate about these things, you may love about them. So definitely let us know in the comments, because not only does that help me, but it also would help everyone else as well who reads the comments. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you again very soon. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow for my best of 2020 video. Bye.